Coming up next, a year after the COVID-19 pandemic began, see how much has changed in Center County.
I think a lot of the conversations that I've been having with community recently has definitely been more optimistic.
And the new numbers at Penn State that show progress against the virus.
Plus, a look at the new CDC guidelines for people who have been vaccinated, what you can and can't do.
And find out why an upcoming election in Ferguson Township could make history this year. The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Matt Saporsky.
And I'm Rhea Jha. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. It's been 1 year since the coronavirus took hold and changed the way Pennsylvanians work and live. Now, as cases, hospitalizations, and deaths finally drop, Penn State is continuing its effort to control the spread and work toward a return to normalcy. Reporter Jake Starr is live at one of the testing sites on campus with more. Jake?
Thanks, Rhea. I'm outside the Hints Alumni Center here on Penn State's campus, which is one of many testing locations where Penn State students can get tested for COVID-19 this semester. This spring, Penn State has worked to test more students in an effort to slow the spread of COVID-19. It's been 1 year since the coronavirus made a once-in-a-lifetime impact on the Center County region. Over that time, Penn State has faced challenges in mitigating the spread. Close to 5,000 students tested positive in the fall, which created a stress on the local community. But this spring, the number of students, faculty, and staff testing positive has dropped to less than 1,200. Penn State continues to offer testing.
I definitely think it played a huge role just because you were tested before coming back. So if you did happen to have a positive test, then you weren't coming back. And then just to make sure we tested a few days later.
In addition to expanded testing, the university is offering more options. Walk-up testing is available at Hints Alumni Center and Pagula Ice Arena, and random testing takes place at Beaver Stadium and downtown. It's been a long year for many here in the State College community, but it appears better days are soon ahead thanks to a stronger testing effort by Penn State, especially here at the Hints Alumni Center. With these testing efforts, Penn State has seen its COVID numbers significantly decrease, and those results have also had an impact on the State College community. As numbers continue to trend down and more people get vaccinated, there's an increasing sense the light at the end of the tunnel is soon approaching.
I think a lot of the conversations that I've been having with community recently has definitely been more optimistic.
Penn State plans to return to in-person classes in the fall, and that's welcome news for a community that relies on students for much of its survival. In the last week, 41 students and 10 employees here at Penn State have tested positive for COVID-19. That's a lot lower than last semester, when at one point up to 400 students were testing positive weekly. On campus, I'm Jake Starr. Now back to you at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Jake. The CDC has issued new guidelines for people who are newly vaccinated. The agency says those who are fully vaccinated can spend time indoors with other vaccinated people without needing a mask or social distancing. If someone who is vaccinated has contact with someone who has COVID-19, quarantine and testing are no longer needed as long as no symptoms are felt. The CDC considers someone to be fully vaccinated 2 weeks after receiving the last required dose.
Since the outbreak of COVID-19, Penn State Counseling and Psychological Services has been tasked with finding solutions to support students' mental health. Reporter Jordan Lewis has more on how the department found alternatives in offering resources.
Since the start of the pandemic, universities across the country have been challenged by a sharp increase in demand for counseling and psychological services. According to a 2020 study from the Center of Collegiate Mental Health, 47% of Penn State students seeking mental health resources did so because of concerns related to the coronavirus. Dr. Stephanie Stama of Penn State CAPS says one of the main goals was to help students coordinate with local services when they were initially sent home.
There are lots of legal and ethical liability reasons that we are not able to practice outside of the state of Pennsylvania for licensure purposes. And so we ended up really helping students access their more local community services instead.
Before the pandemic, students would call or schedule an appointment online and make their way to the Student Health Center to utilize the university's resources. However, during the spring 2021 semester, Penn State CAPS are being held entirely on a virtual level, raising questions as to whether or not the experience is authentic as a face-to-face meeting.
By sort of being virtual, it allows them to feel more comfortable sharing about themselves versus being maybe in the similar space or the shared room. So even in a way, the physical distance actually has improved people's ability to connect, which was a surprising sort of blessing in disguise, I think we found.
The university encourages students to reach out to CAPS if they feel they need help. In University Park, I'm Jordan Lewis for the Center County Report.
Penn State President Eric Barron plans to host a series of webcasts this spring to discuss the impact of the pandemic on the university community and return to in-person classes.
Pennsylvania's U.S. Senate race has a new candidate, former Lieutenant Governor candidate Jeff Bartos. He originally started his Senate run in 2017 before switching to the Lieutenant Governor's race the next year. The real estate investor from the Philadelphia area declared his candidacy for Senate this week on Twitter with a promise to get things done. The Democratic field for the race is already crowded. The candidates are hoping to replace outgoing Senator Pat Toomey.
When people look around and see their elected officials,
a new scholarship will help students in the state's college school district, thanks to the Center Foundation and family of a young man killed in a police shooting. It's been just over 2 years since the death of Osaze Osagi, killed by police as they served a mental health warrant. Osagi's parents started the scholarship with the Center Foundation. It's for racially underrepresented state college high school students who will be going to college.
As part of the foundation that represents the community, it's really nice to be able to provide that scholarship, and I think then keep, his name and memory and story alive in the state college community as well.
The foundation is still collecting donations and will open applications in the fall. Selections for a scholarship recipient will be made next spring.
A state college woman is taking her activism from the streets to the ballot box and might be making history doing so. Reporter Melena Brown has the story.
Over the last few years, the rise in social justice movements have been seen across the United States, even right here in Center County. After the death of Osaze Osagi, protesters took to the state college streets to have their voices heard. Among those were students including Rodney Bergwin, who wants to see more representation for the entire community.
There are still a lot of people of color at this institution, a lot of women at this institution, and they all need to be represented appropriately. And in order to do that, they need to be represented in the government, in student government, and local government, and even at the state level.
One woman is doing just that. Tierra Williams, a Mississippi native, has used her voice to speak out against injustice and fight for equality and equity. I had the chance to sit down and talk with the Ferguson Township Supervisor candidate about what led her to run for office and her advocacy.
Doing the protests on one hand, by doing the show Black Tea on the other, I was yelling about it and talking about it, but I wasn't really putting myself in a position where I could change it from a political standpoint.
Williams also discussed her experiences with racism in the South versus here in Central PA.
In Pennsylvania, there's a lot of microaggressions and a lot of implicit bias, and versus back home where I just know not to go in that restaurant.
She also reflected on the importance of allies.
The biggest surprise to me and something that I really appreciate is all the white allies. When you go to a protest, the majority of the protests are white. And that's awesome. That's amazing that there are so many people willing to stand up and say, this is wrong, this shouldn't be happening.
If elected, Williams will be the first Black woman on the board, and election takes place May 18th. Reporting in State College, I'm Melena Brown.
You can also hear more from Tierra Williams on her show, Black Tea, on YouTube.
Looks like we're going to be having a few more warmer days in the coming week. We have a 7-day forecast coming up. Plus, millions of federal dollars are on the way to help people in Center County. Also coming up, new businesses along Benner Pike are opening in State College area. Find out what will be opening up next.
It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're going to take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Center County is getting more than $10 million in federal funds to help residents who can't pay their rent. The money comes from the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, and the county is still working on a program to manage and distribute the funds as needed. The same website as last year's CARES Rent Relief Program will be used at centercountypa.gov/emergency rental assistance program.
Shopping on Benner Pike is being reborn in the State College area, with new businesses and shopping centers set to open over the next few years. Reporter Dana Brewer has the story.
Over the past decade, Benner Pike shopping options have dropped off as businesses left the Nittany Mall and other plazas. But now, a rebirth is coming with new anchor stores going into the mall, a new shopping plaza, and 2 more businesses opening close by. Rural King is set to open this month.
Well, we want to be good neighbors to the community, so we want to help support their businesses and and have them help support our business, so that as we bring in customers to the area, they continue to shop the Center County.
Along with the farm supplies and home goods it's known for, the store hopes to support local FFA and 4-H groups. Also coming to Benner Pike is a new Giant, and with it, more than 100 new jobs. The company has been in State College for more than 30 years. Giant says it's looking forward to serving the grocery needs of Benner Township and the greater Bellefonte community. Neighbors are happy to have a new grocery store on their side of town.
Our daughter goes out there fairly regularly for cheering, and so being able to stop at that Giant on our way home to pick up groceries or whatever is going to be huge.
Radzanowski says they miss the convenience of nearby shopping after Giant closed its old College Avenue location. Giant hopes to open in 2023. In State College, I'm Dana Brewer for the Center County Report.
Along with Giant and Rural King, more businesses are set to come to Benner Pike over the next few years. Now to Olivia with weather.
Thanks, Ria. As we have warmer weather continuing into today, I did want to just keep my eye on the potential for a colder trend moving into our area later in the week, and with that, a chance at some snow. So looking at the live shot of Beaver Stadium, we can see a little bit of cloud coverage, but for the most part, it's relatively sunny and warm today in State College. Current conditions, we have 55 degrees, feels like 55, with a dew point at around 25 degrees, which is seasonable for this time of year. We have some slower winds in the area coming from the west-northwest at around 9 miles per hour. So for feels like temperatures, we have State College coming in at 55 degrees, a little bit warmer down here in the Philly-Harrisburg area, and again, some colder temperatures in Johnstown and Clearfield. And then moving into our actual temperatures, we again have 55 in State College and warm temperatures in the Philly-Harrisburg area. And moving into all of Pennsylvania, we do see Erie coming in a bit colder with, again, those winds coming in from the west-northwest. Moving on to our satellite radar, again, we see there is little to no cloud coverage for all of Pennsylvania. And if we take a look at the country nationally, we see 2 low pressure systems moving in our area, and those will be what bring those colder temperatures and the potential for some precipitation, mixed rain and snow. So again, for our future cast in the European model, we have those cold systems moving into our area and the potential for snow coming in on Monday and Tuesday. With that said, our forecast for State College today is 61 and sunny. Tonight, we will have colder temperatures of about 27 with wind gusts all the way up to 31 miles per hour. So make sure to hold on to your hats. And moving into tomorrow, we will see 47 and sunny, as well as the 7-day forecast. We do see those cold temperatures and precipitation coming in on Monday and Tuesday. With that said, we'll send it to Dana with sports.
Thanks, Olivia. Next in sports, how the son of a Hall of Fame baseball pitcher is creating his own baseball legacy here in Happy Valley. Also coming up, how some local high school wrestlers are preparing to hit the mat for states in Hershey this weekend. Sports is next.
Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
I'm Dana Brewer with sports. Central PA schools have long been powerhouse in high school wrestling, and though the season looks a little different, the local talent in the sport is undeniable. Heading this weekend to state championships, reporter Casey Cummer has a story.
While 26 Center County wrestlers qualified for the postseason, just 9 remain. They head to Hershey this weekend for the PIAA Wrestling Championships. All of Center County state qualifiers are veterans to the state championships. This includes State College High sole qualifier Lance Urbis. Lance claimed the final spot at 172 pounds for states this past weekend at the AAA West Super Regionals.
I feel confident returning to the state championship because I've been there before. I know the mindset to come in with. I know the preparation, same preparation.
Urbis follows in the footsteps of his older brother, but has earned his own respect and success.
I think he deserves it. You know, he's worked so hard for so long. It's never easy to have a really successful older brother and have to follow in their shadow. So, you know, for him to come into his own is just huge for him.
All 6 Center County wrestling programs will be represented in the tournament. Bellefonte leads the charge with 3 qualifiers. Bald Eagle Area's Cohen Bailey enters as the 113-pound Super West Regional Champ. Bailey's coach gives credit to the caliber of wrestlers in the area.
Since we do have such a strong wrestling tradition here in the county, you know, it just makes our wrestlers in this area that much better. You get better by wrestling, better competition.
East and West Super Regionals were added this season to minimize the number of wrestlers taking the mat at states due to COVID-19. That means each weight class will feature only 8 competitors, explaining the decline in Center County state qualifiers from 25 last year. Other changes this season included a shift to 13 weight classes, causing several qualifiers from the area to compete at different weights. I'm Casey Cummer for the Center County Report.
With state championship experience on their side, many Center County wrestlers have the potential to bring home individual state titles this weekend. We wish them the best of luck. Penn State men's hockey takes the ice Sunday in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. The Nittany Lions are getting set to take on Notre Dame. It'll be their 5th straight game that Penn State has seen the Fighting Irish. The Lions hope to rebound and keep their season alive after being swept last weekend. Senior captain Alec Limoges is confident in the group.
They're a good team and they play us well. So we really need to be confident and do what we do best. And so I think that's how we're preparing for it. I think a lot of guys are excited to get them again.
Puck drop is at 2 on Sunday, and the winner will play Wisconsin on Monday. Penn State men's basketball lost last night 75-74 in a nail-biter against the Wisconsin Badgers in the second round of the Big Ten tournament, so their Big Ten season is over. After trailing by as much as 18 in the second half, Penn State ended a game on a 17-2 run, but fell short in the final seconds of the game. Men's basketball finished their season 11-14 and now awaits its potential NIT tournament berth. Women's basketball also lost in the tournament, finishing their season 9-15, which is a 2-win improvement since last season. Penn State football returns to the field on Monday for the first time since ending their season in December. The Nittany Lions are coming off of a 4-5 record and hope to get some much-needed on-the-field work during spring practice. While there are no plans for a blue and white game with fans, Athletic Director Sandy Barber says that the university is pushing hard to have a full stadium of fans this fall. But she says that's based on the COVID situation at the time. It has been a little over 3 years since Hall of Fame pitcher Roy Halladay died in a plane crash in Florida. His successful major league career spanned 15 years, and now his son, Braden, is working towards his legacy of his own at Penn State. Reporter Sebastian Kraft has more.
Halladay is 1 strike away. The 0-2. A bouncer. Ruiz. In time! Roy Halladay has thrown a no-hitter.
Randa takes strike 3.
I can confirm there's only one body involved. And it's sad to say it's a friend of ours. It's Roy Halladay.
This is the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York.
We really are the Smithsonian of baseball when it comes to our archives, our amazing library and research center, and the museum.
It's a testament to the success of Major League Baseball star Roy Halladay, whom fans in our area remember from his tenure with the Philadelphia Phillies. The late star's legacy is preserved here in the Hall's renowned plaque gallery. Back here in Center County, a new Halladay story is taking shape. After reaching 90 miles an hour on his fastball this winter, Roy's hardworking son, Braden Halladay, is poised to reap the fruits of his labor on the Penn State baseball team. While Braden's representatives declined an interview for this story, his coaches sing his praises.
He's done a great job of just daily coming, getting his work done, and I think down the road we're going to see something pretty special come out of him.
The Halladay legacy begins here, immortalized in the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. And it continues here on the Penn State pitcher's mound. Despite all the adversity Braden Halladay has faced in recent years, he now has a prime venue at which to forge his own path.
Braden this is his own career. This is his own chapter. He wants that, and we're here to help facilitate it.
It's not about wins and losses here in Cooperstown. It's not about, Red Sox versus Yankees, who's on top right now. It's about the love of the game.
The great part about working with somebody that wants to get after it every day is you get excited to be around them.
In Cooperstown, New York, and now back in University Park, I'm Sebastian Kraft for the Center County Report.
Braden Holiday and Penn State baseball begin their first homestand at Medler Field next Friday against Maryland. That's all for sports. Now back to you at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Dana. Coming up next, although the Central PA Arts Festival may look different this year, some of the traditions will remain. Find out how you can be a part of it after the break.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right. So it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're going to take the laces, we're going to cross them over, we're going to turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Preparation is underway for the Central Pennsylvania Festival of the Arts, including submissions for the annual banner exhibition and competition. Traditionally, the banners are hung along the festival route on South Allen Street in State College, but if the event takes place virtually due to COVID as it did last year, an alternate location will be chosen. Applications for entry can be found on the Arts Fest official website, arts-festival.com, and they're due by June 18th.
That's all for today's newscast. You can find more of our stories on our website, centercountyreport.com, and you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Twitter feed. That's at CenterCountyREP or on our Facebook page. We also have a CCR Instagram. Join us for our next newscast Friday. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.